pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Here at Town & Country, we are proud to be an American.
We've had you covered on the inside since 2005, and with our addition of Southern Grill and Patio, we now have you covered on the outside. Come see our great selection, where we make sure grilling and relaxing go hand in hand.
Here's some Napa know-how for you. Your local Napa Auto Parts store in Troy is under new ownership with an all-new fully stocked store. Big deal, you say? Big deal, we say. Like the ownership, the store has a new look, too. We're still delivering the same Napa quality and know-how, but we've increased our inventory and are committed to helping you find the parts you need when you need them. So come check us out. We've got the right part at the right price at the right time.
Know-how, Napa know-how.
If you've had an accident or just want a new look for your vehicle, come see us at Troy Paint and Body, where we do it right the first time. Our staff has more than 100 years combined experience and can handle repairs and paint work on any make or model. We also offer a lifetime guarantee as long as you own your vehicle. Now that shows we stand behind our work. And our 24-hour towing service means we're here when you need us. So come see us at Troy Paint and Body, located on South Brundage Street in Troy beside the post office. Troy Paint and Body, where we may meet by accident, but you'll be glad we did.
Life is hectic enough without worrying if your lights will stay on or if there's hot water for your child's bath. So count on natural gas to keep the energy flowing, even when the weather is unpredictable. Natural gas is always there to keep your home warm, showers hot, and food cooked to perfection. That's why America has relied on safe and affordable natural gas for more than 150 years. And we will be here for you and future generations too. You can count on natural gas from Southeast Alabama Gas District.
The new Smokehouse Pizza from Little Caesars is our first pizza with 3 smoked meats. So we got barbecue champion Big Mo Quezon to test it out. 8-hour smoked brisket.
Certified beefified.
10-hour smoked pulled pork.
Certified hoggified.
Applewood smoked bacon.
Certified baconfied.
Drizzled with tangy barbecue sauce plus a Smokehouse seasoned crust.
Certified smokified.
The new Smokehouse Pizza. Only $9 and only at Little Caesars.
Pizza. Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects motion at night to create the appearance that someone is at home. You can view video clips so you can always know who stopped by when you are out. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
Have you seen an increase in your insurance premiums or significant change in your insurance coverage? Let Sandbeck Insurance offer you a better plan to suit your business or personal needs. Sandbeck Insurance offers many lines of insurance, whether it's home, farm, or auto insurance, work comp, business, or health and life policies. Sandbeck is here for you. Call or visit our Troy, Enterprise, or Andalusia office today. Sandbeck Insurance, where we take pride in taking care of your insurance.
At Wiley Sanders Truck Line, we support our military. That's right, not $1,000 sign-on bonus, but $1,200 sign-on bonus at Wiley Sanders Truck Line. Thanks for your service. Thanks for your service. Wiley Sanders Truck Line, we support our military.
She's all right.
Free. Good morning and welcome to Today in L.A. I'm Mike Amos this morning and on a pleasant, very pleasant Tuesday morning. Mike Amos calling in from Birmingham. How you doing up there?
Doing well. How y'all doing?
Doing great. And of course, it is Tuesday as we head into another work day. And Mike, it won't be long. Gosh, you know, Pike Liberal Arts has a practice game or a jamboree on the 17th. Can you believe that?
Well, yeah. I mean, I know that. I think the first game of the season is maybe the 18th. I think that's where Academy plays, a team over from Mississippi.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be here before you know it. All the kids are back at school, and I think there's a few up here in Birmingham that haven't started back yet. But I was looking at Facebook yesterday, and, you know, everybody posts pictures of their kids, you know, what grade they're in, or start, you know, kindergarten or junior high or high school. So it's crazy how early. I mean, I literally remember starting school in September. September when I was growing up, so it's changed a lot.
I tell you, Troy University football has sure been working hard. Gosh, I don't think they missed a day. You think they would take it.
Every single guy they interviewed, they are saying that they're so much more ahead than they were this time last year, and that the guys really know what they're doing, and that we're looking a lot better than we were last year. That's kind of scary.
It is. It sure is. And, I've already looked into Nebraska tickets, and I'm not going up there to watch Troy lose. I'm going up there to watch Troy beat Nebraska at Nebraska. I really believe we've got that kind of team. I really do.
Well, you wouldn't be the first person that's picked that. There's several people that have on the radio up here, at least. The biggest thing about it is Nebraska played Colorado the week before, and then after that they played Michigan.
That's right, no question about it, which is good.
They might be thinking about Michigan a little bit.
Yeah, and let me say this: Nebraska is going to probably be good, but it's going to be on into the season. I don't think they're going to win right away like that. I mean, I don't think they're going.
All the first-year coaches usually struggle. There's really none of them that go in there and just have dominant seasons.
Yeah, exactly, no question about it.
Other than Gus Malzahn at Auburn.
Yeah, no question about it. Want to mention, of course, a school starts here in Troy on Thursday. The city schools and Pike Liberal Arts both start on Thursday. And I think Pike County starts on Wednesday. Somebody needs to correct me if I'm wrong there. But I think they start the day early. Have the schools actually started in Birmingham, Mike?
Some of them have. I think Vestavia and Mountain Brook start on the 8th.
Yeah. Now, have you heard any whistles?
The other day, Troy plays Pike County in Jamboree every year, and Pike County got beat last year by Goshen. Are we ever going to see a day when Troy plays Goshen?
I don't know. I sort of doubt it, but because that is on down the line. They're 2A, aren't they?
Well, they're 2A, but I'm just saying Pike County's 3A. I'm just saying, wouldn't that be great for those Goshen kids to play Troy?
Oh, yeah, it would, especially in the stadium. No question about it. Of course, lots going on. I want to say Troy University opens their doors on Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. And I don't know it for sure, but I need to find out, and I'll make a call in a few minutes to see when.
What do you think the chances are they sell out for Boise? You think they'll get
I think they're real good. Auburn plays, let's see, who does Alabama and Auburn play that day?
Auburn plays the best game of the day. They play Washington in Atlanta.
And what time is that?
2:30.
2:30, so Troy starts at 5. So,
you'll definitely have some people coming in after the Auburn game to watch Troy play.
Exactly.
You'll have some people leaving the Troy game to watch Alabama at 7 probably.
Yeah, exactly right. Jeffrey Bennett, my good friend at Sanders Truck Lines, wants you to come join the Sanders team and, of course, get all kinds of great amenities that go with the job and go with a career in the trucking industry. And, of course, right here in Troy, Alabama, Sanders Truck Lines is one of the largest truck lines in the country. And Jeffrey mentioned something yesterday on Monday. There were 550 trucks at Sanders that had already dropped off their load, and then some of them had already gone and gotten a new load and heading this way. So it's just amazing what a big operation that is right here in Troy. And of course, they're looking for new drivers, and right now you can have a career in the trucking industry with Sanders Truck Lines, and they're going to give you a startup bonus of $1,000. And if you're in the military, they're going to give you a start-off bonus of $1,200. So call Sanders today and get on a winning team.
Give me a father-son driving team. Maybe we can get in a big 18-wheeler and go see the country.
Well, I tell you what, if I wanted to get in the trucking business, there's no question who I'd want to work for, and that would be Sanders. They take care of their employees. They're looking for employees to make it a career.
18-wheeler just to see if I could even drive it.
Well, Mike, the great thing about it now, they have automatic transmission.
Yeah,
a lot of the trucks have automatic transmission, And I'm not saying a lot of women don't know how to drive straight sticks, but it sure gives a young lady a lot better opportunity to drive a truck. I would think it'd be easier driving a automatic transmission vehicle, wouldn't you think?
Well, I mean, I think there's a lot of guys out there that don't know how to drive them too. You know?
Exactly, and
a lot of people didn't grow up, you know.
Exactly.
Sticks back when I was growing up. Still.
I tell you did something that was almost impossible.
But, people that are probably 30 and under probably never even had a friend that had a stick.
That's right, no question about it. And it is unusual to see that now. I saw a 5-speed the other day, but it was a sports car type vehicle, and you see that still, but you don't see it.
Interesting, they're showing pictures of the Troy football players. It's a recovery day after the first day in full pads, and they're all in the natatorium swimming.
Oh yeah. Well, I walked in.
Idea, though.
Yeah.
Probably make you feel a little bit better getting that pool.
I got a sneak preview of the new facility at Troy, Mike, and they've got a big, nice pool now that's going to be in part of the end zone project.
You do that on your own, or somebody actually show you?
Well, I walked around with the guy with Whaley's that is in charge of everything, and then Charles Ingram, my good friend, met us later on, and I was able to see it, and it is just spectacular. It really is, and it's going to be. Mike, there's one hallway that where all the coaches have their offices, and I'm not exaggerating. The hallway is over 100 yards long. Visualize this now, with offices on both sides, and then of course the coach's office is not only a big office, but it's got a big patio that looks out over the field, part of his office, which is unreal. It's really nice.
Yeah, that's great. Of course, I guess they'll have weight rooms on a couple floors.
The weight rooms are on the first floor, and the dressing rooms actually are on the second floor. But they actually call the weight room floor the bottom floor, which is, and then the first floor is considered the dressing room floor. And so, hey, I looked at the dressing room, and of course they've got those ultra modern lockers, Mike, that blows air, and you don't have the bad smell and all that, and they have 125 lockers.
Wow.
125 players can dress in there right now and have their own locker. So
that's probably, you're probably close to that walk-on players, probably.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know that Charles Henderson, despite the inclement weather in the area of Goshen, began preparations for the 2018 season on Monday? Sort of a late start, it seems like, for high school teams, Mike.
Well, I mean, you got to realize these guys have been basically practicing since May. Spring training went into basically, summer practice. So I would imagine these guys are more than prepared, I would say.
Charles Henderson also got started yesterday, but I like this, they gave the players a week off, Mike, before they started. So I think that's a good gesture on the part of the coaching staff at Charles Henderson. And of course, DQ Tony.
Someone 6-5 last year. I mean, you know the program more than I do. How many seniors did they lose off that team? Did they have any seniors last year?
They did. They lost 6 or 8 seniors, and I don't know the exact number, but they got DQ Tony coming back, Mike, who's a very good athlete. He'll be playing quarterback, and then sometimes they'll even move him to wide receiver. They kick off their season on the 24th against Pike County in the Jamboree, and they'll play that Jamboree down there. Pike County's looking at a pretty good football team, too, so that could be quite a game. Here's your...
They still have their quarterback back, don't they?
Yeah, that's right. Here's your Charles Henderson schedule. First of all, on the 16th, which is this next week, they'll have Meet the Trojans. Then on August the 24th, the big Jamboree down in Pike County. Now, this game does not count against anybody's record, but it's treated like a regular game. Then they open the season on August 31st against the Enterprise Wildcats away. at their beautiful stadium in Enterprise. And then on September the 7th, they're on the road again, this time to Rehoboth. So back-to-back away games to start the season. And then they come back here on September the 14th and play Oxford High School. And that's a big home game. Oxford, a big 6A school. Beauregard they comes to town on the 21st. So back-to-back home games against very good teams in Beauregard and Oxford. But I think Beauregard is an area game, Mike, I'm thinking. And then they take the week off on the September the 28th, and then on October the 5th, they travel to Greenville. And then on the 12th, Carol of Ozark comes to town on October the 12th. October the 19th, a trip to Tallahassee. Boy, I hadn't seen a weak team yet, Mike. And on the 19th, on October the 26th, Valley, Valley comes to town, and thank goodness we don't have to go there. That's a long ways. And then on November the 2nd, they end the regular season against Baldwin County, and that's on November 2nd. Something I did notice is that regular season, Charles Simpson plays just 9 games.
Yeah, that's got to be a first. I can't remember Charles Simpson ever playing a 9-game season. I mean, I guess.
But they do have a bye.
They couldn't find a team to play. Or
well, they do have a bye week on the 28th. So if Coach wanted to play a game, and wouldn't it be something they could play 6 home games? That could happen.
I seriously doubt they would allow that. Probably the most you can play is 5.
Yeah.
That's not a fair advantage if you get to play 6 at home and other teams are playing only 5.
The first home football game of the season, though, will be at Charles Simpson Middle School against Coppinville of Enterprise. That is a 5:30 kickoff. That will be the first game of the season in Troy. That middle school game.
Who coaches at the middle school now?
I don't know. I'm going to find out, though, and bring him on our show. I want to mention a few things to talk about this morning. Is the first actual game of the year is going to be a junior varsity game in Dothan against Dothan High School on the 27th. So they've got a full schedule, and I'm looking, and it's going to be fun to see the teams get out of it. They're going to play 8 junior varsity games and 8 middle school games. So that's a good schedule. Of course, the colleges get kicked off. Jacksonville State plays North Carolina Central, Mike, for the first game of the season. Did you know that?
Yeah, that's a Johnny Williams game.
Exactly right, and that's going to be played at Crampton Bowl. And I want to remind everybody, too, also, Mike, that the Troy Post 70 is playing in regional play in South Carolina, and this is a team that is made up with a lot of former Charles Henderson players and Pike Liberal Arts players, and a few Goshen players. So this team's advanced into the regionals in the American Legion, which is pretty good.
Yeah, it tells you how old we're getting. Where next year Chase Smart will be a senior. Isn't that hard to believe?
Yeah, exactly.
It seemed like you're calling his state championship game a few years ago.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Of course, we mentioned yesterday that.
I was looking at something yesterday. You'll think this is interesting. AL.com came out with SEC football about the numbers, 15 single game records that might never be broken.
And one of them's the 258, isn't it?
No, SEC record.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
There's a guy named John Reeves that played quarterback in Florida.
I remember him well.
And did you know in a football game he threw 9 interceptions?
No, I did not know that. Do you know?
The SEC record they said will probably never be broken. It was against Auburn.
Yeah.
In 1972 it happened.
Isn't that amazing? Auburn intercepted.
1971 against Pat Sullivan it happened.
Isn't that amazing? You know who the backup quarterback for Auburn was, don't you, when John Reeves played? I mean from Florida.
Florida.
Yeah, you know who the backup quarterback was, don't you? Chan Gailey. Chan Gailey was the backup.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. who the backup to John Reeves at Florida.
Another one that I think I've heard you talk about before is Alabama against Virginia Tech.
Yeah, I remember that game. 77.
Rushing record?
Yeah, 700 and some yards. How many yards was it?
748 yards against Virginia Tech in 1973.
I know we scored 77 points, or excuse me, Alabama scored 77 points that game.
77-6. The most amazing thing is Wilbur Jackson had a 51-yard run for a touchdown. Of course, he's from Ozark. But that was only the fourth longest TD run of the game. A guy named Calvin Culliver had one for 87.
Calvin Culliver out of East Bruton, Alabama. What's the?
And then a guy named Corky Thorpe went for 83 yards for a touchdown. And then a guy named Jimmy Taylor went 80 yards for a touchdown.
All right, now Corky Thorpe and Jimmy Taylor. Jimmy Taylor played for LSU, and Corky Thorpe played for Alabama, I want to say.
No, Jimmy Taylor, these guys all played for Alabama.
Oh, that's right. Okay, he was from Central Nail. Jimmy Taylor was from Central Nail, Alabama. But Corky Thorpe, I never heard of, Mike, other than the old Corky Thorpe.
And then Richard Todd also ran for over 100 yards. He was Alabama's quarterback.
Yeah, boy, he was a good one, too. And out of Viger High School in Pritchard, Alabama.
But, Alabama ran for 496 yards against Vanderbilt last year, but that wasn't even close to breaking that record.
That's right. Is that a national record, that 745?
SEC record. Alabama also set the SEC record with 833 yards total offense in the game. They only threw for 85 yards.
Yeah. The quarterback on that team, was this Texas A&I that they were playing? No, Virginia Tech. This is Virginia Tech, and their quarterback later on played in the pros. I'm trying to think who that was. They were not near as strong a program, though, as they are now. Virginia Tech, I would think, was probably a top 25 program, wouldn't you think?
No, not in the 70s.
No, now. Not in the 70s. They were hardly known.
Yeah, now they are, yeah.
And, of course, who was that quarterback for Virginia Tech? I'll remember it, hopefully, in a few minutes. Of course, we're looking forward to a great week. And, of course, first scrimmage of the season, Mike, this Saturday from the stadium.
Yeah, I'm looking at the weather. It looks like it's going to be a little thunder and lightning. I hope that maybe they'll get it in. I'm going to be in Troy this weekend and look forward to maybe going to watch some practice.
Yeah, it would be fun. Something.
I hope to be able to experience some more Troy games this year. I didn't really get to go to too many the last couple of years. I'm these little baby girls.
Yeah. Something that I hope's not going to happen, but once you enclose the stadium, like we've sort of enclosed the stadium at Veterans Memorial Stadium right here in Troy, will it be hotter? How can you get any hotter? But I can't see a breeze coming through there very much. What do you think?
Well, I mean, it's not like it's real super high, or it would factor in. I think they'll still be able to get some breeze in there, I would think. It's not like we got upper decks or anything.
Well, yeah, but now it's enclosed for the first time.
I think it's going to be hot regardless. That first month or so.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter. I mean, I would imagine the temperature will be probably 90 at kickoff.
Yeah.
At least.
Mike.
But what do you have to worry about? All you got to do is walk up.
Oh, I don't have to worry about it.
Air conditioning.
Well, I worry about what happens on the field, how hot those guys are,
Well, surely they won't have cramps. Surely they'll be in shape.
Mike, one of the problems with the early problems, evidently they've addressed them, was that Boise was having a hard time finding a place to stay. Did you hear about that?
Well, they just stay in Montgomery on Taylor Road.
Well, I think that's what they've ended up doing, but there was a couple of things that happened that
the teams usually stay at the Courtyard of the Hampton. Usually, how's that work?
No, they usually, when most out of town games stay downtown, Mike, at the
Embassy Suites?
Embassy Suites. That's where a lot of them stay, and I'm sure some of them stay at the Marriott too. But
yeah, I would think not many teams stay in Troy that play Troy.
No, they don't. They don't stay in Troy. Very few of them. It seems like the last big team.
Florida A&M will probably drive up that day. What do you think?
They probably will. They could. You're exactly right. I mean, they'll stay in Dothan.
Or they can stay in Dothan.
I imagine that's what they'll do. They'll stay in Dothan, Florida A&M, on the second game of the year for Troy.
I tell you, people don't realize how many fans Florida A&M will bring. They'll bring 5,000.
Well, right now, every hotel in Troy is sold out. Can you believe that?
Well, you know, in most towns, you know, like in Tuscaloosa, you really have to book like a year in advance, and you gotta pay for 2 nights.
Yeah, that's right.
$400. Every hotel room's $200
That's right.
a night.
That's right. You're exactly right. Hotel rooms get to be pretty
they're
expensive.
constantly building more and more in Tuscaloosa. I mean, it's gotten to the point where, you know, I mean, so many fans try to come and stay and make a weekend out of it. I'll never forget when I lived there back in the day when the RVs would start coming in town on Tuesday and Wednesday. That was always the craziest thing ever.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the schedules for Troy and Alabama and Auburn. That'll be fun this morning to take a look at them. You know, a lot of people try to go to Auburn and then come back and catch Troy, but the problem is that's what I know. But what I'm saying during the regular season, but when they've gone to most of the afternoon games are 6 p.m. or late games are 6 p.m. So it's hard to drive from
normally the second week, you know, Alabama doesn't play anybody that great, but you know, Arkansas State, physical and talented. I mean, I'm sure Alabama will beat them by probably 3 or 4 touchdowns, but you know, they're not, you know, the worst team Alabama can play.
Well, let me tell you this: they've got a good football team, and they're are picked to win the Sun Belt. But they've got a quarterback that is very good, and you know, they got some players.
Yeah, originally from Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's right. They've got some players there. You know, I was looking, you know, at these some of these games, early games that are going to be really testers, and I would think the Auburn game against Washington would be a huge test early for Auburn.
Yeah, you give Chris Peterson time to prepare, and that guy's one of the best coaches in the world.
Well, they've got
He's a really good coach.
They've got their quarterback and their big running back coming back, both of them.
I mean, the thing is can they, you know, move the ball against that Auburn defensive front?
Yeah, that's the big deal. You're exactly right. Auburn's front has gotten bigger and stronger than it's ever been, and
Kevin Steele came to Auburn. He pretty much built that defense like an Alabama defense.
Yeah.
They've got just some phenomenal defense.
I probably shouldn't say that because Pat Dye had some pretty good fronts too at Auburn.
No, but I'm just talking about he built it like, you know, his defenses he had at Alabama.
Yeah.
You know, Steele's done a great job as defense coordinator. I've met him a couple times. He's a really nice guy too.
Well, you know, I was looking at the schedule, you know, some of these games, and to see how they would stand up early. And you look at Auburn, man, their schedule to me is a lot tougher than the Alabama schedule. What do you think?
Well, there's no doubt. You know, I mean, anytime you got to go to Georgia and Alabama to finish the season, that's the toughest schedule any team in the country could have to face. I mean, you're probably going to be going against number 2 and number 1 to finish the season.
All right, I was looking at them, and let's take this season and let's break it down with Troy.
I think Auburn's, you know, going to have a really good season, but you know, the fact that they play those 2 games on the road, I mean, if Auburn goes 10-2, that's a great season.
Well, Alabama open.
If you're an Auburn fan, I'd take 10-2 right now if you have to.
Yeah. Now Louisville and Alabama kick it off at 6. I want to say that's when they're going to kick. 7. Okay, 7 Central. So that'll give some. Troy kicks off at 5 against Boise, and Auburn kicks off at what did you say, 2:15? 2:30 against Washington, and that game's played in Atlanta. Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that Central or is that?
It's Central.
It is Central, so 2:30 kickoff. So
You know, the next week, Auburn plays your favorite team, Alabama State Hornets.
Alabama State Hornets. I tell you what.
That's a nice little $1 million paycheck for Alabama State.
I tell you, though, if you want to get embarrassed, look at Alabama's schedule. Now, and I'm not knocking Arkansas State. They're pretty darn good. Louisiana has had teams that were pretty good. And then the Citadel. Alabama plays Arkansas State, Louisiana, and the Citadel, and they pour $1.5 million, at least $1.5 million in their coffers or whatever you want, or in their banks at those schools. And Troy is sitting back down here, needing a big game to go at.
I'll tell you this. I guarantee you this: the Citadel would beat Alabama State by 3 touchdowns.
Oh yeah, but Alabama State.
Citadel's a lot better than Alabama State.
Yeah. Okay, the second game is Arkansas State going up against Alabama. That's a game played in Tuscaloosa. Then Auburn across the state has Alabama State, and then Troy going up at home against Florida A&M. And I've seen some Florida A&M teams that were pretty darn good, Mike. Can you remember that?
Florida A&M beat Troy in the playoffs.
Yeah, I remember 2 different times they beat Troy in Troy one time too, with a backup quarterback. Billy Joe, you're right, with a great coach. So those games should be fairly easy, hopefully, for all 3 of those teams. On the 15th, Troy travels to Nebraska to play an 11 o'clock kickoff Nebraska team, right?
That's going to be on the Big Ten Network, too, for anybody that can't go to the game. If you have the Big Ten Network, which I think you probably have that on Troy Cable.
Yeah, I think so.
You'll be able to watch it.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to watch it. And I hope to go to the game. I'm thinking about leaving out here on a Thursday and going to the game, Mike.
Drive?
Yeah, you know why? Well, I might fly. I'm looking at it. But you know why?
You've already been in that game 3 times.
Well, and let me tell you, it's been fun.
It's the best chance we ever had to win.
That's right. It's been fun all 3 times, and that's exactly why I want to go, because I think we can win the football game.
I'll tell you what, if they beat Boise, there'll be a lot of people wanting to make that trip.
No question about it. And I think we'll beat Boise. I think Troy will beat Boise. I really believe it.
Well, if you beat Boise, you're basically telling everybody in the country you're one of the top non-power fives out there.
Well, Mike, I just realized this. I did not know Auburn was playing LSU on the 15th. Auburn is playing the LSU on the 15th, the 3rd game of the year. So that means Auburn is playing Washington. I know they play in Auburn, but you're playing Washington and LSU and Arkansas 3 out of your first 4 games. LSU, I think LSU is going to surprise some folks this year, Mike. I really do. I'm not.
Mississippi State too. That's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, and you know.
Don't think Ole Miss will score a lot of points against people this year too. That's going to be interesting when anybody plays Ole Miss without offense.
And I tell you what, don't think that Southern Miss is a terrible football team, because they're not. They're not a bad football team. So Auburn's first. Gosh, look at their schedule. Ladies and gentlemen, look at Auburn's schedule. Until they play Liberty, and you can throw Southern Miss in there, but don't throw your nose up at Southern Miss, because they're really pretty good. But that means they play Washington, LSU, Arkansas, Southern Miss, Mississippi State, Tennessee, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Georgia, and then they've got Liberty on the 17th and Alabama on the 24th. That's got to be the toughest schedule in Auburn history.
Yeah, I mean, they do this every 2 years. They have to play Georgia and Alabama.
Yeah. All right, I'm on just mention the teams that have a chance to beat Auburn, a legitimate chance to beat Auburn. Washington, LSU, Arkansas, Mississippi State, Tennessee, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Georgia, and Alabama. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 teams have a legitimate.
I would take Arkansas out. There's no way Arkansas.
Well, you don't know. You don't know how good Arkansas has played Auburn good, though. They play Auburn pretty good.
Beat their brains out the last couple of years. Put 50 on them every time.
Okay, well, all right. Even if that's the case, then they've.
Chad, you think Chad Morris is a better coach than Brett Bielema? I don't.
No, well, we don't know that yet. No question.
Of course, that one win season at SMU.
Okay, you look at Alabama at the same note, and hear this. These are the teams that have a chance to beat Alabama.
Nobody has a chance.
Auburn does. Auburn got a chance.
Yeah, Auburn would be it.
LSU on the road has a chance. They have a chance.
Why do you think LSU is going to be any good? A lot of people predict LSU goes.
Because they got a gunslinger. They got a mafia guy that's the head coach, Mike.
You think Neil Brown at Troy's scared of LSU?
They got a bad-looking dude that's their head coach at LSU. I'm being facetious.
A lot of people think this will be Orgeron's last year.
Yeah. Legitimately, let's look at Alabama. All right. Ole Miss away.
No, they don't have enough.
How about Texas A&M in Tuscaloosa?
Nobody's going to beat them in Tuscaloosa.
All right, Louisiana, then Arkansas at Arkansas. How about that?
No.
How about Missouri in Tuscaloosa?
No.
All right, now here's one that could happen. Tennessee in Knoxville, Mike.
Alabama's won 11 in a row.
Listen, this guy, listen to this now. This head football coach.
They beat them last year 45-3.
This head football coach, Pruitt, who is from up on Sand Mountain, Alabama, Mike, married a beautiful girl from Troy, or a beautiful girl from Banks, Alabama. And, of course, her daddy played for Charles Simpson High School, a good friend of mine. And, Mike, don't you give that guy a chance?
I give him a chance in about 4 years, man.
Hey, Mike, we're talking about the Tennessee Volunteers. The orange and the...
I'll be honest with you. I mean, there's a long ways for them to even be close to Alabama.
Well, Mike, you've got to say LSU's got a chance. They play at LSU.
I mean, LSU, I really think is going to be lucky to go 6-6.
Well, they got a chance. LSU's got a chance. Mississippi State.
LSU, a lot will be determined in how LSU plays Miami in that first game. If they come out, play Miami tough, maybe they'll be 7-5.
Well, LSU, I think, has a chance, and Auburn has a chance. Of course, LSU's playing at home. And Tennessee, at Tennessee, I'm going to put them having a chance. That's 3 teams I think that got a chance. And Texas A&M, I think Texas A&M is going to be a lot better than people think, Mike.
I think A&M will be better, but they're playing them in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to give them four teams that can possibly beat Alabama, can possibly beat them. Auburn can definitely beat them.
Really play with Alabama's Auburn.
Yeah.
Their quarterback.
And they play in Tuscaloosa, which that's part of your season ticket package. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got to try to find a way to still.
All right, looking at Troy, after they play Nebraska, they have to go to Louisiana Monroe, which is going to be a
real tough game.
All right, so I'm going to put a check by, let's look at Troy. Boise had a chance. Nebraska, of course, definitely had a chance. ULM has definitely got a chance. Now, Coastal Carolina, with their coach coming back, should be much better. Do they have a chance to beat Troy at Troy?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I don't think so. Georgia State at Troy. This is homecoming.
I think Troy will beat Georgia State. Georgia State is building a program, though.
You know, they've got this as a no, excuse me, this is not homecoming. Georgia State's on the 24th. They're going to play on a third seed.
South Alabama can definitely beat Troy. They proved that.
Look, hey, Liberty at Liberty, can they beat Troy?
I think Liberty beat Baylor.
Yeah, I'm going to say Liberty can beat Troy, and so does South Alabama. Louisiana always plays Troy tough, so they got a chance. Georgia Southern has a chance.
South Alabama's kind of got Troy's number.
And Appalachian State has a very good chance.
Appalachian State should beat Troy.
So hear this: 1, 2, 3. Did we say Georgia State had a chance?
Yeah.
They're going to be better. Yeah, they're going to be better. So we're talking about teams that have a chance to beat Troy, Alabama, Auburn, and of course Boise State.
Georgia State went to a bowl and won their bowl game last year.
Boise State, Nebraska, ULM, that's Louisiana Monroe. And the reason we say that, people are saying Louisiana Monroe, Louisiana Monroe. Well, not too many years ago, they beat Alabama at Alabama, didn't they? You heard that?
Well, that's now, you know, Saban's been there for 12 years.
Yeah. But Louisiana Monroe,
Saban his first year.
Louisiana Monroe has always played Troy tough.
It's a horrible place to get to, and it's a real ugly-looking campus, ugly-looking stadium.
Yeah, it really is.
Not a whole lot of life.
And the uniforms, the color uniforms are ugly, you know. I just don't like that color. All right, Georgia State had the chance.
They beat Appalachian State last year, and that really helped Troy. You know, that was the reason Troy was able to be co-champions.
And they've got their quarterback coming back, so they definitely could beat Troy. Liberty can beat Troy. South Alabama can beat Troy. Louisiana can beat Troy. Georgia Southern can beat Troy. And I don't think Texas State can. What do you think?
No.
But Appalachian State can, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 teams on Troy's schedule, and I didn't realize that until I have looked at this morning. There's 9 teams on Troy's schedule.
That's why I had Troy going 8-4.
Yeah. Is that my little girl in the background? I can hear.
That's Mary Prater. She's screaming.
Oh, is she? Bless her heart.
She's watching cartoons.
Oh yeah, well good. Is she talking to the? So she's talking to the TV.
Yeah.
Okay. So so that's quite a schedule for Troy. 9 teams have what we think a possibility of beating Troy. I mean, they can, on paper, they have a shot at beating Troy. Wouldn't you say?
I mean, at worst, I see Troy going 8-4. I mean, I think the potential is, you know, to win more than that. But at worst, I see them going 8-4, which is bad.
Yeah.
8-4, you win your bowl game, you're 9-4. That's pretty good.
Exactly.
I think Neil Brown would take 10-3, 11-2, and 9-4. That's not bad.
Well, and of course, how many we said?
Starting a new quarterback for the first time ever.
Yeah. Let's look at Auburn again. Washington can beat them. LSU can beat them. Arkansas, you don't think can beat them, do you?
I don't.
All right, I'm gonna skip Arkansas. Southern Miss, I would skip it. Mississippi State's got a shot. They play at Mississippi State.
Mississippi State plays historical, yeah.
Tennessee's got a shot at Auburn. Ole Miss.
I would say Tennessee has a shot.
Ole Miss on the road, Mike, and I might go to that game, the Ole Miss-Auburn game. Texas A&M has a shot. Georgia has a shot, and Alabama's got a shot. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams.
I think Georgia and Alabama got better in the shot.
Well, let's just say this. There are 8 teams on Auburn's schedule that we think can beat them. I mean, a possibility of beating them. There are 9 teams on Troy's team we think that has the possibility of beating them. So that means it's a pretty tough schedule. Alabama is Auburn and LSU, and I'm going to put Tennessee down there. There are 3. You don't think Missouri is going to have a sleeper team, do you?
Well, I mean, Alabama's got a young secondary, and, you know, Locke, a good quarterback, but, you know, will Locke even have time to throw?
Well, I'm going to put them in there that they got a shot. 1, 2, 3, 4. And A&M's got a shot. I'd say 5 teams have a shot at Alabama. 5 teams got a shot at them.
Well, I mean, they're playing Louisville on a neutral site. Louisville's usually got a good offense. You don't want to give Louisville a shot?
I don't know. How good is Louisville? I know their coach. I know their coach likes to ride motorcycles. Is that right? Don't the coach like to ride motorcycles?
Well, I think he got beat up before he rode the motorcycle.
I'll include Louisville. 5 or 6 teams have a shot at Alabama. And the rest.
You gotta watch ESPN's done a lot of stuff. They're doing like a series on Alabama football this year, and they had Saban taking the new freshman players out to Lake Tuscaloosa. They show his house and everything, big, beautiful mansion, and he's got them on the boat, and he's got them on inner tubes. And he's spinning them around on the boat, and he's flipping all of them off the inner tubes off the Lake Tuscaloosa.
Who Saban is?
Yeah, Saban's the one driving the boat. His big thing is trying to get them to flip and make them fall
Did he have a real pretty house?
Yeah, a real pretty house. Yeah, real big.
And is that on YouTube or where is that?
No, it's on ESPN. You watch it right now.
Yeah.
Anybody wants to click on the video there.
Boy, I have really enjoyed YouTube, and we were talking about that yesterday.
Lake Tuscaloosa there, I don't think people realize, like, if you never lived in Tuscaloosa, it gets real hilly, like heading out towards Lake Jasper that way.
Yeah, I know that.
Lake Tuscaloosa, you almost feel like it's like a little mountain lake. It's real pretty out there.
Yeah, I bet it is. Is it very wide or is it narrow?
It's pretty wide in spots.
Yeah.
We got my wife's aunt and uncle have a place on Lake Tuscaloosa. We stay there sometimes going to games. It's really pretty out there.
Well, I'll tell you this. We're looking at Auburn's schedule. Auburn has got to have a running back. Can Cam Martin be the kind of running back that Auburn needs to win big with?
I think they'll be like more running back by committee. You know, they got the best running back in the state, that Ace Martin guy out of Decatur, and I think he'll help out a lot as a freshman.
Martin, Ethan Martin, ladies and gentlemen, could be the difference for Auburn. All right, they also, signed this.
Kerryon Johnson was a phenomenal running back last year. I mean, that guy was a beast. I mean, he was hard to bring down. He was tough.
Well, I saw him play in high school. I thought he was unreal. I really did.
I think he'll be pretty good in the pros, don't you think?
Yeah, no question. Joey Gatewood, Mike, he's the backup at Auburn. How good is he?
I mean, miles long compared to Cam Newton. I don't know if that's, if he's going to live up to that or not, but he's one of the top quarterbacks out of Georgia.
All right, they're going to go with Jarrett Steedham, and their backup will be Malik Willis. Where is he from? Do you know much about him?
I mean, he was backup last year. I don't know where he's from.
All right, here's the guy you were talking about. Cam Martin and then Malik Miller. Is that who you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about the freshman that came in from Decatur.
Okay. And he's one of the new breed guys.
I mean, he's the guys in for the summer.
Well, they've got most. Auburn's got almost all of their receivers back, don't they?
Well, Will Hayden tore his ACL. He's trying to come back from that.
Yeah. Of course, the wide receivers are Nate Craig Myers, Marquise McLean, Ryan Davis, and Eli Stove, and Darius Slayton. Yeah. Well, then they got Paige Osmond, wide receiver. That little guy I said that couldn't play for Troy.
That's the guy, Will Hayden. He's the one that hurt his ACL in the spring.
Well, you know what? He turned out to be one of their steadier receivers. Is that right?
Well, he was like a third-string kicker that became a starting wide receiver. It's a pretty amazing story.
You're right. We're looking at LSU, and everybody says, "Well, God, does LSU have a quarterback?" Now, the kid
transferred in from Ohio State.
Is that guy?
Beat out Joe Burrow's guy, their quarterback.
Is that Miles Brennan or Lowell?
Miles Brennan is the guy that came in against Troy last year, but they're saying that the Burrows kid will beat him out.
And where's Burrows from?
He played at Ohio State. They got beat out there and transferred to LSU. He was a senior transfer, or graduate transfer.
All right, so he just has 1 year remaining, or what?
I think he's got 2 years.
And his name, I don't see him mentioned in this in Street Smith, but
It only happened about 2 months ago.
Okay.
So they didn't put it in there.
Yeah, exactly. So this transfer rule can play a pretty big part. You feel like he'll help LSU?
Well, I mean, he was, played at Ohio State, played games. I mean, maybe he will. I don't know.
No question about it. So.
I don't think it's a good sign when you get beat out at Ohio State and you have to transfer to LSU.
Yeah. What's going to happen at Ohio State? Do you know? What do they say on Birmingham radio?
I mean, everybody on Birmingham radio, actually, they think Urban Meyer will keep his job now.
Really? Of course, a good article in the Messenger today on Marcus Jones as he is coming back for Troy. He gives them a threat. Now, I know he runs back kickoffs, but does he run back punts too?
I think they said they're going to try him at punt return this year, is what Coach Brown said when he was on our show the other day.
Well, he is a big-time player out of Enterprise, Alabama, and is a great kick returner. I was at Coastal Carolina. I went to that game. My brother and I went together. We saw him run the first 2 kickoffs back for touchdowns, and then the rest of the day they just kicked it, either kicked it out of bounds or kicked it out of the end zone if they could.
He also had a 100-yard return for a touchdown against Arkansas State.
And that was huge. And that was huge in that game, wasn't it? I want to mention, ladies and gentlemen, all our sponsors today, P.S. Falk Furniture. Mike, you know Andy Falk real well, and he goes all over the world finding furniture for people that are looking for very unique pieces of furniture, and of course, he's got a beautiful store.
He ships everything back on big freighters. He goes to Indonesia and Vietnam and China. He's been all over the place. Taiwan. It's all like teak wood, driftwood furniture, and some really, really cool stuff. I mean, anybody ever in Enterprise, you got to go out there and check out. He's got bedroom furniture, and he's got any kind of household items you possibly need, lamps. He's got it all down there. It's a really cool store.
No question about it. I want to also mention Wells Fargo Financial, located on the bypass, on Elba Highway, right here in Troy. And of course, my good friend Colin McCreary, and can help your money grow. Little Caesars, if there's any better pizza anywhere, anytime, ladies and gentlemen, Little Caesar on South Brundage Street, and boy, they're feeding a bunch of these college kids, Mike. These football players, they eat 4 or 5 meals a day, and like when they have a late practice, they order pizza. And I heard the other day they ordered over 100 pizzas. That's a lot of pizza, isn't it?
Yeah, that might have been not enough hot ready. They probably had to call them fans.
I don't know how they did it, but I don't know where the pizza came from. I'm not going to get into that, but they said it was right at 100 pizzas they ordered to feed the team, just a snack, We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
Hey, let me load up.
Okay. We'll be right back. Thank you.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
At Wiley Sanders Truck Line, we support our military. That's right, not $1,000 sign-on bonus, but $1,200 sign-on bonus at Wiley Sanders Truck Line. Thanks for your service. Thanks for your service. Wiley Sanders Truck Line, we support our military.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Here at Town & Country, we are proud to be an American. We've had you covered on the inside since 2005, and with our addition of Southern Grill and Patio, we now have you covered on the outside. Come see our great selection, where we make sure grilling and relaxing go hand in hand.
Come see us at Don Walker Western Wear. From boots, jeans, and jackets to shirts, hats, and belts, we're your headquarters for Western wear for the entire family. With the largest selection of jeans in town, we carry famous brands like Wrangler, Levi, Carhartt, Ariat, and Cinch. We've also got plenty of styles of boots to choose from, including Justin, Lucchese, Ariat, Tony Lama, Red Wing, Dan Post, and Corral. So come on into Don Walker Western Wear, located on Highway 231 in Troy.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by Troy Bank and Trust Company, the only bank you'll ever need with, 12 locations to choose from, 3 in Troy, 1 in Arrington, 1 in Brundage, 1 in Elba, 1 in New Brockton, 1 in Enterprise, 1 in Goshen, 1 in Auburn, one in Dothan, and that is your list of places that you can bank at Troy Bank and Trust Company. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 11 locations, and I could have missed one. I think I said Elba, but we'll say Elba again. But those are locations where they're, and of course we talked about the new locations in Dothan and in Auburn. Troy Bank and Trust Company, the only bank you'll ever need, and they're great people. Good articles in all the papers, and of course everybody's headlining high schools now. As the high schools hit the field yesterday for the football season, and of course I noticed that Charles Simpson took the week off last week, which I thought was a good gesture after working with these kids most all the summer. Bart Snyder returns several players off a 12-2 season, and what a great team Goshen had last year, and they had a school record 497 points scored, and of course they had an all-state kicker and Dawson Hamlin. Where did Dawson Hamlin go? And of course Brock Snyder is now playing for playing in Montgomery with Faulkner. Zach Alford is also playing with Faulkner, and wide receiver, and Kerry Seiler, big offensive lineman, I think is also playing at Faulkner. Good article also in the Dothan Eagle today about wide receiver DeAndre Douglas. He's a big, fine receiver at Troy. And, boy, you look at Troy's schedule, and you look at, and gosh, hopefully I can find that information, but Troy is loaded with wide receivers. And I'm thinking that if we can find some running backs that are ready to go, and of course if Henderson, the outstanding running back out of Dale County, if he can stay healthy, Troy could be very good on offense this fall. And of course they are already expecting a good defense. They've got most of their kicking game coming back. Of course the guy that punts for them is also going to kick extra points and field goals. We got the same kickoff guy coming back. So most of the things that you need to do to win football games looks pretty promising for Troy this year. And of course, as we mentioned, a tough schedule. We said there were 9 teams on Troy's schedule that we feel like have a chance to beat them. Well, that means that when they play, that there's a chance that team can beat you. And now Alabama, let's see, we had 2, maybe possibly 3 teams that could actually have a chance to beat you. Maybe 4 if you include LSU, Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee, and let's see, the last one was, let's see, Louisville. That gives it 4 teams. So, hey, everybody has a chance to get beat the regular season, but of course Alabama has less chance than others. Alan Flanagan, son of Wes Flanagan, commits to Auburn. Auburn picked up another commitment in basketball. He's 6'5" out of Parkview High in Little Rock, Arkansas, where he was a 4-star recruit there, and he ranks as the #1 player in his home state of Arkansas. And now he's coming to Auburn, averaging 13 points a game last year. So Shaquille O'Neal's son, Sharif O'Neal, will play basketball at UCLA. Now, look at this. UCLA has landed forward Sharif O'Neal. Of course, you know, Shaq played pro ball there for all those years. He's the son of retired NBA great Shaquille O'Neal. He signed a grant aid to attend UCLA this fall. He will enroll in summer school this month. Hear this, ladies and gentlemen. He's 6'10" and weighs 220 pounds. Shaquille's son. Now Shaquille's 7 foot, 7'1" probably, and probably weighs 300 pounds when he played. But 6'10", 220 from Los Angeles, sort of skinny guy. Played last 2 seasons at Crosslands High in nearby Santa Monica. As a senior last year, O'Neal helped the school win the Central Division state title for the first time since 1997. He had 29 points and 17 rebounds and 5 blocked shots in the title game. O'Neal averaged 27 points a game, while Crossroads finished 25-9 on the year. We've got a call coming in. Good morning. You're on Today in L.A. How you doing? Mike, I was reading about Shaquille O'Neal's son has signed a grant aid to play for UCLA next year. He's 6'10" and weighs 220. Need some coffee, please. Coffee.
You would think he would have a big kid. He's 7'1".
Yeah, that's right. And I'm sure he's still growing. He'll be a freshman at UCLA this year. And
ESPN came out with the top 50 college football players coming in this season.
All right, who now?
ESPN, the top 50 players.
All right, let's see if we can name.
Their number one player is a guy named Ed Oliver, defensive tackle out of Houston. He's the number one draft.
Yeah, I've heard about him, and everybody says he's unblockable. Is that true?
Yeah, he's just a junior. They say he's so good that he could have sat out this year.
What's his name again?
Ed Oliver.
Ed Oliver. How big is he? Thank you so much. He doesn't say that.
We compare him to Sue that played in Nebraska.
Oh boy! All right, so he's at Houston.
Number 2 is Bryce Love, running back out of Stanford. He rushed for 2,000 yards last year.
All right, they Love out of Stanford. Stedham out of Auburn is ranked where?
Number 3 really surprised me. Quarterback Will Greer, who transferred from Florida.
Will Greer?
3,500 yards, yeah.
And he plays at
West Virginia.
West Virginia. How about Stedham?
Gone pro. Christian Wilkins out of Clemson, big defensive tackle.
But he's back. All 4 of those guys are back. And
yeah, Dexter Lawrence is number 5 for Clemson. He plays defensive tackle. Then this guy's brother played at Ohio State, and this guy's getting raised. Going to be a first-round pick. Is Nick Bosa.
Nick's who? His brother, what's his name?
Bosa. His brother was Joey Bosa. He was the first-round draft pick.
And they like this guy as much as they liked his brother?
Yeah, and then Jonathan Taylor played running back at Wisconsin's number 7.
His name is Jonathan who?
Jonathan Taylor.
All right.
Then Rashawn Gray, defensive lineman out of Michigan. Trace McSorley, the Penn State quarterback. And then number 10 is Jared Stidham of Auburn.
It's the 10th ranked player in the country by whom?
ESPN.
ESPN. Now somebody told me.
And then Tua Tagovailoa is number 11, right behind Stidham. Isn't that crazy?
Tua, he's already ranked as the 11th best player in the country.
That's right.
Isn't that something? And he played only one half of football. Looks like to me.
Well, no career starts either.
Yeah. And oh man.
Then number 12 is another defensive end out of Clemson.
That's what I was going to say.
Cleveland Farrell.
That's what I was going to say.
Number 13 is Alabama's running back Damian Harris.
Harris, number 13 ranked player in the country. How fast is Harris,
He's playing against Auburn, number 15 quarterback.
Who?
Harris.
Oh, yeah.
Damian Harris, number 13 at running back.
As the 13th best player in the country. Now, somebody told me...
Number 15 is Jake Browning, the kid that plays at Washington.
Oh, yeah, the quarterback at Washington is the 14th ranked player in the country. That's pretty good.
Then this guy's a phenomenal defensive lineman, 6'7", 306, plays at Alabama, Rakeem Davis.
Davis is the 15th best player in the country. And how big is he?
6'7", 306, and I've seen him, and he is a monster.
306, and he's a down defensive lineman.
Yeah.
Somebody told me that all 4 of Clemson's defensive linemen will sign in the first round. Have you heard that?
I've heard that, yeah.
So Clemson got a good lesson from Alabama.
And these guys are out of their minds for not going pro. I mean, if they get injured, I hope they all got Lloyd's of London deal.
They probably do, no question. All right, who's the 16th best player in the country?
16th best player is Nick Fitzgerald from Mississippi State.
And of course, he's a great one at Mississippi State. And
of course, he's coming off a horrible injury, though.
Yeah. 17th, who's the best number 17 player in the country?
Number 17 is Rakeem Davis. We already mentioned that.
All right.
After that, we'll go SEC. And Mackenzie Milton, the guy that lit up Auburn for UCS, number 20.
Yeah, the quarterback. Yeah. Well, is he ranked number 20?
Yeah, and then Ole Miss wide receiver A.J. Brown, number 26. Linebacker at LSU, Devin White, is number 27.
He did not play well against Troy, though. I watched him the other day. Okay.
For Simmons, Mississippi State, defensive tackle, number 29.
Simmons, the defensive tackle at Mississippi State, a top 25 guy.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal player. 6'4", 310.
6'4", 310.
Jake Fromm, quarterback out of Georgia, number 30.
Fromm's number 30.
Jonah Williams, offensive lineman out of Alabama, 31. DeAndre Swift, the running back out of Georgia, is 33. Drew Lott, the quarterback out of Missouri, is 35.
35th ranked player in the nation.
Guy out of LSU, cornerback Greedy Williams, is number 37. Let's see who else. Greg Little, offensive lineman out of Ole Miss, is 39. Derek Brown, defensive lineman out of Auburn, is 41.
Derek Brown out of Auburn, defensive lineman.
Yeah, then another defensive end out of out of Mississippi State, Montez Sweat.
So that's 2 guys off their front. And Auburn, if you bring in the kid from Greenville, they have 2 guys on their front, top 40.
Davidson's not in this.
I know, but wouldn't you think he would be?
He's not. Debo Samuel, wide receiver, South Carolina, is 47. And then Mack Wilson, the linebacker out of Alabama, is 49.
Mack Wilson, the 49th best player in the country.
Yeah, according to ESPN.
Where did Wilson play? At Carver?
He played at Carver, just like Sean Deion Hamilton.
Yeah. Is Deion Hamilton back, or did he? Is he?
Well, he blew out his knee, but he was a 5th-round pick for the Washington Redskins.
Okay.
The Redskins have Jonathan Allen that played at Alabama. They have Ron Anderson that played at Alabama. They have Sean Deion Hamilton, and they have Deron Payne.
All of them played up front for Alabama. Is that right?
Well, yeah. Hamilton played linebacker.
Yeah, that's right. And he also came from Carver, didn't he?
Yeah.
How many linebackers did Carver produce, man? That's unreal.
I tell you, they're
3 kids from Carver.
And then Jackson Olin up here in Birmingham produced a lot of guys for Auburn.
Yeah. Well, that is impressive. That's your top 50 players in the country. And
according to ESPN.com.
Did you see anybody down the line that Alabama's quarterback is ranked 13th and hadn't hardly played a game? Is that right?
Yeah, well, he's ranked 11th, right behind Stidham.
Yeah. What does he bring to the table? Is he savvy? Does he bring Let's compare him to Hurt. All right, who's the best runner? Hurt. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, but he's the best runner, no doubt.
Okay, best passer, Tua.
He's probably the best athlete.
The passer would be Tua, would be the best.
I mean, Tua has the ability to run, though. He made some real good scramble plays against Georgia.
Who would you think runs the team better?
I mean, this is to be determined. There's not really enough film of Tua to even tell you.
Yeah. But now
apparently it looks like he's going to be the starter. Hurts has come out now and spoke to the media and real upset about how everything's been handled, and now his mom's posted stuff that he hadn't been able to talk, and is very upset about the way the fans have treated her son. And the dad has come out and said if he leaves Alabama, he'll be the #1 free agent in college football history. I mean, so there's starting to be some bad blood here, it looks like. And everybody keeps on saying Mac Jones is really stepped up his game. And
Mike, he is a good look. He's 6'5".
If Alabama loses Hurst, then it won't be as big a deal as people make it out to be. So
yeah.
I don't know. You don't know what to believe.
Of course, he's a kid out of Bowles High School in Jacksonville. That's like a prep school.
He looked really good in the spring throwing the ball. I'll say that.
Bowles is a prep school, isn't it? Is that right?
That's right, yeah. That's where Chipper Jones went.
Yeah. Of course, Troy practiced under the heat of the day yesterday.
The biggest thing about Tua is he can, progress when he is back there, and he can, if one read's not there, he can go to his second read, and then he can go to his third or his fourth. He's gonna sit back there and try to throw the ball. Usually guys are going to get open. Hurts looks for that one guy, and if it's not there, he takes off running.
Yeah, you're right.
The worst thing Hurts did last year, though, is he would run out of bounds, just lose tons of yards. You wouldn't even throw the ball away.
Yeah.
I think that's when fans really get upset when you go to a game and, he's not even trying to throw it out of bounds and not lose any yards. He just runs out of bounds. It doesn't matter if he loses 5 or 6 yards.
Yeah, that's right. No question about it.
Harrison, running back in Alabama, they ought to be able to run the ball. For at least 250 yards a game.
All right, tell me who the running backs are. Harris?
Damon Harris and Najee Harris.
And Najee Harris, when he finished high school, was the number 1 running back in the country, wasn't he?
That's right, yeah, out of California. Then they got Josh Jacobs, who's really good. And then they got the kid out of Tuscaloosa that's really good, Brian Robinson.
Yeah. So they got 4 solid running backs, is that right?
Yeah, everybody's saying they have the best running backs in the country.
Of course, Troy enters their first full week of practice, I would say, and of course, a lot going on there. They've been practicing at numerous times. They practiced yesterday at 11 a.m. in the midday, and the reason they did that was just to see how it would be when you play Nebraska at midday, but it won't be quite as hot at Nebraska as it is down here, I don't believe.
No, we went to play Nebraska that day and that morning over there. It was in the 50s. It felt amazing.
Yeah. And they're also talking about how good a lot of these new wide receivers are. Troy's added 2 or 3 new receivers over last year, or maybe 4, and they're all playing well. And then on defense, they're talking about Jarvis Hayes and Trayvon Mathis have really emerged as playmakers, along with this young man, Terrence Dunlap, out of Maplesville. And a lot of people think he might be the best athlete Troy signed in years, Mike. That he's a big-time cornerback.
Well, he definitely played in spots last year. He didn't have the year Marcus Jones had, but there are a lot of people say he's a really, really big-time player.
Yeah, no question about it. Of course, we're early into the practice, and then, of course, Auburn's been sort of quiet. Don't you see that? Aren't they sort of quiet?
What, are you talking about as far as what's going on?
Yeah, what's going on?
There's coverage on them every day. I don't think they're being quiet.
Of course, I was looking at a good article on Loxley, the Alabama offensive coordinator. He's the first coordinator at Alabama that was not the quarterback coach. Isn't that unusual?
Well, the quarterback coach is Dan Enos. He used to be the offensive coordinator at Arkansas last year.
That's right. And there's a list of guys that were quarterback coach, and it's amazing how many they've had since Saban's been at Alabama. I think they've had a different one almost every year.
Let's look at Boise State's schedule. Let's see what they're going to be this year.
Boise State, and of course they won. They were 11-2 last year, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
Who do they? Who beat them last year?
We're up big on Washington State. Washington State came back and beat them. I think in overtime.
Yeah.
And then they got beat by.
Washington State beat several good teams last year. Did you notice that?
Washington State was playing them at home, though.
Yeah, I know it. And their quarterback actually committed suicide. Is that right?
Their backup quarterback, yeah. He would have been the starter, yeah.
Boy, that's sad.
They play Troy. They're back home. They play UConn. That's a win. Then they traveled to Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State lost their quarterback and a lot of good players, so they would have a chance against Oklahoma State. Then they're at Wyoming. They host San Diego State. San Diego State's usually pretty good. They travel to Nevada. Then they host Colorado State. Colorado State's been pretty good under Bobo. Let's see who else they have after that.
I was looking here. I was looking at Boise lost to Washington State last year, Mike, in 3 overtimes.
Yeah, I was watching that game. They were up big.
And of course, the other game they lost. They beat Southern Cal 30-27, beat Oregon 33-10, beat California. Well, they lost to California. Here it is, 37-3. How in the world did that happen last year? Then they turned around and beat Colorado 28-0. Arizona. Wait a minute, excuse me. Now this is not even. This is not them. I'm looking at Washington State. I'm sorry. But I was looking at some of these teams Washington State beat, and it was really surprising to me. They beat Utah, and they beat several teams they weren't supposed to beat. And Oregon, they claim that this Herbert guy at Oregon, Mike, is the real deal. But can Cristobal, he's a defensive guy, no, offensive line coach, isn't he?
Yeah, Mario Cristobal.
And I don't know how good they're going to be, but a team that a lot of people wonder about is Washington, and if they could get by Auburn, then they got North Dakota, Utah, Arizona State. They could, you know what? Well, they got Stanford on down the line and Oregon on down the line, but Washington could have a big year if they could beat Auburn. But I don't think that'll happen to you.
I don't think so. I mean, a lot of people think Washington can win the Pac-12. A lot of people think USC will be down this year, so I guess we'll see.
They've got this kid, of course, Brown is the quarterback, and this Myles Gaskin is their running back. He's considered one of the top running backs in the country, isn't he?
Yeah, he's put up big numbers every year.
So they're going up against one of the best quarterbacks and one of the best running backs in the country, and that game will be played in Atlanta.
I mean, I would imagine talent-wise, I mean, Auburn's going to have a lot more talent than Washington. I mean, it's just more athletes, than out in Washington State.
Exactly right.
I mean, Washington State goes into California and recruits, big over there, I'm sure, as well. But Auburn's going to have the home field advantage. I mean, Auburn playing in Atlanta. I mean, shoot, they'll probably have at least 70% of the fans. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. Gosh, more than that.
Because when Washington played Alabama in the playoffs in Atlanta, I mean, they said it was almost like 70-30 Alabama fans then.
Exactly.
That was in the playoff game. That was when they were playing for it all.
No question about it.
You know good and well they're not going to travel that many people from Washington to Georgia.
Yeah.
It's almost an unfair advantage, to be honest with you. It seemed like that game would have been better somewhere in the Midwest or somewhere in Dallas or something like that, so more of their fans can come to the game.
Yeah. No question about it. My preacher, ladies and gentlemen, had the grandson playing at Kansas State, and he's the starting tackle. Of course, he's the starter. He's one of the starting linemen on offense for.
Is he a guard or a tackle?
He's a tackle. Well, let's see here. They got him listed at. Here we go. Tyler Mitchell, who's the right guard for Kansas State, is the grandson of Mac Lowry, the pastor of Calvary Baptist Church. And of course, Mike, all your friends, Carmi and.
Well, I grew up with Chris.
You grew up with Chris, and then there's.
There's Wally and
Carmi and all of them. Well, their nephew, who is 6'4" and weighs 307 pounds, left Montgomery Academy, was never even recruited by Troy, and now is the starting right guard for a good program, Kansas State.
Yeah, that is hard to believe.
How in the world was Troy let a guy like that?
It's hard to believe that Lowry could be 6'4".
Oh, yeah.
Because most of those Lowrys are probably 5'9".
And my preacher is going to be going out there on September the 8th to see see them play Mississippi State. And of course they open up with South Dakota, then Mississippi State, then UTEP, Texas, San Antonio. But then they've got a big game away at West Virginia. The Preacher could go to
the Little Apple.
Yeah. What? Kansas State?
Yeah, because it's in Manhattan, Kansas.
Yeah. Then they play at home on the 29th against Texas. They play away at Baylor. They play at home against Oklahoma State. They play away against Oklahoma. Then away against TCU. Got a pretty tough schedule on it. Then they played on the 10th against Kansas, 17th against Texas Tech, and finished the season November 24th against Iowa State. Last year they were 8-5, and of course they're coached by the legendary Bill Snyder, 2-10 and 1-10. That's a pretty good record, wouldn't you say? And
it's a great record with Kansas State.
But I tell you what, I met this young man.
I wonder how much it helped them, though, having all those junior colleges out in Kansas all those years.
It probably has helped them a lot.
And it helped Kansas, but man, it helped Kansas State.
Yeah, oh yeah. I know you would think they would have helped Kansas State, but I mean Kansas, but it hasn't. Of course, back to this young man, though, he's one of the finest young people I've ever had on this show. I mean, yes sir, no sir. And of course, he's happy out at West Kansas State. He represents Montgomery Academy pretty well, wouldn't you say, Mike? Playing at a, I would say right at a top 25 program. Wouldn't you say that, or at least a top 30?
I don't know if they're top 25.
Maybe top 30.
Like top 40.
Yeah, but they're pretty good, and they've got their.
Old Vanderbilt put it on them last year, though.
Did they?
Yeah.
But you know. Their quarterback is coming back.
Let me deal with this crying baby, man. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Take care. Appreciate you calling. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
At Wiley Sanders Truck Line, we support our military. That's right, not a $1,000 sign-on bonus, but $1,200 sign-on bonus at Wiley Sanders Truck Line. Thanks for your service. Thanks for your service. Wiley Sanders Truck Line, we support our military.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Here at Town & Country, we are proud to be an American.
We've had you covered on the inside since 2005, and with our addition of Southern Grill and Patio, we now have you covered on the outside. Come see our great selection, where we make sure grilling and relaxing go hand in hand.
Come see us at Don Walker Western Wear. From boots, jeans, and jackets to shirts, hats, and belts, we're your headquarters for Western wear for the entire family. With the largest selection of jeans in town, we carry famous brands like Wrangler, Levi, Carhartt, Ariat, and Cinch. We've also got plenty of styles of boots to choose from, including Justin, Lucchese, Ariat, Tony Lama, Red Wing, Dan Post, and Corral. So come on into Don Walker Western Wear, located on Highway 231 in Troy.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
We are. Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by First National Bank of Troy Brundage, located on Main Street in downtown Brundage, and also located on right here on Park Street in Troy. And of course, we appreciate them very much. Of course, they've been around a long time. Mr. John Ramage started that bank in 1904, and there's been a Ramage running that facility ever since. One of the great local banks in Alabama, First National Bank of Troy Brundage. I want to mention Troy Regional Medical Center today, and Troy is so fortunate to have a medical center like the one we have. We have a very modern, up-to-date hospital that has served the needs of Troy and Pike County and surrounding areas for several years. Good pitcher, Bart Snyder in the Dothan Eagle today, and Bart's getting his Goshen Eagles ready, and of course they lost a bunch of folks off of his team last year, and but expecting to have some good players, and they had the numbers last year. The Eagles will be led by college prospects Caleb Dawson, a senior linebacker, and running back Jamarcus Sanford, and a senior defensive back, wide receiver, and running back. Dawson had drawn interest from Auburn, Purdue, Iowa, Army, Navy, Mercer, Sanford, Kennesaw State, West Florida, North Alabama, and Troy. And we feel like if he'll do what's expected of him, he'll have an opportunity to play at the next level. Sanford had been contacted by Furman and West Florida and Kennesaw State and Lafayette back up in the east for his services next year. And of course, one of the big things that Goshen has to do is replace their outstanding quarterback in Brock Snyder, the coach's son, who now plays at Faulkner in Montgomery, and he is was a big, tall quarterback that made a lot happen for the Goshen Eagles this past season. And they've got some other quarterbacks coming back. Galloway is the young man that they think will take over for Brian Galloway, the junior. Has got the lead right now at quarterback for the Goshen Eagles. So good luck to Goshen. Bart Snyder is in his 10th season at Goshen, has a record of 64-41, excellent record at Goshen. And of course, last year 12-2 and 5-1 in the Class 2A playoffs last year. They opened the season at Arrington. Then they go to Calhoun. Then they play at home to Luverne and home to Elba. Then they go to Houston Academy. They're also at Zion Chapel. Then they play at home to Central of Haynesville. Then back on the road at New Brockton. Or no, play at home to New Brockton. And Pike County, that's a big game. Then they go to Brantley for the season finale. But that is a tough schedule for the Goshen Eagles, and looking at the schedule, Arrington will be a tough one. They should handle Zion Chapel. They should beat Sampson. Then they go to a tough New Brockton team. Then they play at home against a very good Georgiana team. At least they've been that way the last few years. Then again at home against Luverne. They should handle, those should be tough games. They should handle Calhoun, Central of Haynesville, and then play a very good and much improved Highland home team again at home on the 26th, and then always tough rivalry with Brantley on November 2nd. So should be a pretty tough year for the Eagles, but if I know Coach Bart Snyder, he'll have them ready to go. You can see the Dothan Coaches Show every Wednesday on this channel 2 at 6 o'clock. So we'll look forward to bringing you Goshen's football review for the I think 10th consecutive year now. Of course, several of the schools that are in our area will have the Charles Henderson Coaches Show. Hopefully we'll have the Elba Coaches Show, and we'll have the Pike Liberal Arts Coaches Show each week right here on Troy Cable Channel 2. Hope you've enjoyed our show. We appreciate you very much being a part of our show. Brought to you by Circle Insurance in Ozark. Good friend Sam Judah at a big insurance company there. And of course, Dixieland Dental, one of our prime sponsors located in Midland City, one of the outstanding dental clinics in Alabama, one of the largest dental clinics in Alabama. Dixieland Dental, Dr. Michael Precise, Dr. John Strength, Dr. Damon Strength, Dr. Robert Precise make up one of the largest dental clinics in Alabama. See you tomorrow morning, bright and early, for Today in LA. We'll have Max Howell on our show tomorrow, and we'll be talking more of college and high school football.